audience. Okay. Can you remember the last dream you had? Maybe you could fly or falling down a tunnel. Perhaps you're awakened by a horrific dream in the middle of the night. One cannot truly understand dreams unless you know the history of dreams. Dreams can be something we experience every night, whether you remember them or not. There are also very numerous theories about dreams. There have been many times in my life where I have been awoken in the middle of the night by a horrific dream or nightmare. I wake up in the morning trying to recall what I dreamt about and trying to put the pieces together. I dream a lot, so I did some research on dreams and thought this would be an interesting topic. So first, I would like to talk to you about the history of dreams, where they came from. I also like to talk to you about some interesting facts that I came across while doing some research. And lastly, I would like to tell you some different occurrences that you may have while dreaming. So one cannot truly understand the meaning of dreams unless you know the history. So first, I would like to start where dreams came from. The word dream comes from the Middle English word drem, which means music or joy. Dream interpretations date back to 3000 to 4000 BC, where they were documented on clay tablets. Originally, dreams were thought to be part of a supernatural world. Dreams were messages from the gods, where the villagers during the night, perhaps as an early warning device of disaster or good fortune. From what we can tell, the Egyptians certainly were the first dreamers to attempt interpretations of their dreams. Because of that, they published a book on some of the conclusions they had to come about dream symbols. In fact, Egypt is where the process of dream incubation began. When a person was having troubles in their life and wanted from their God, they would sleep in the temple, there where they would wait for the next morning priest, which was called a master of the secret things. They would be consulted for the interpretation of the dreams that night. We dream of the present, the past, not the future. In our dreams, we only see faces that we have seen before, whether we may know them or remember. So half the content in a dream is forgotten after 5 minutes, and 90% is forgotten after 10 minutes. The average dream lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, and our brain waves are more active when we are dreaming than we are asleep. Also, 1/3 of our life is spent sleeping. We dream in symbols, and everyone has his or her own set of symbols, and we all have different occurrences. So I'm going to talk to you about different occurrences that you have while dreaming. Between being awake and falling asleep, your mind enters the hypnagogic stage. In this stage, you begin to lose touch with the world around you without showing the physiological stages. Pictures form inside our heads like still photograph pictures, and although you may notice them, they're still there. We also have what is called recurring dreams, which I have witnessed. I've had plenty of those. So it is safe to assume that recurring dream will have something important to say to us about the way we are conducting our waking lives. So it will be worth trying to discover what its message means. We may think that the dream is exactly the same each time it occurs, but in fact, that is rarely the case. Often there are differences, usually very small, between the dreams. These are the details we should pay attention to because they hold the clue to the meaning of the dream. Such a dream is usually the result of an emotional weakness in our nature that can, over the years, cause us to hurt. It is when this happens that our dream often recurs. And although the dream may remain the same in its essential elements, in our waking lives it can apply to different sets of circumstances that provoke us to display the same weakness. This type of dream should vanish after you have resolved your original problem. There's also nightmares, which I'm sure all of y'all have had throughout your life. So nightmares are the way in which our subconscious scolds us to pay attention. So anyone who has a vivid nightmare knows it is very difficult to forget once you're awakened. If a nightmare occurs, your subconscious is trying to tell you something very important. Perhaps something you have ignored or refused to accept as a truth within your life situation. The nightmare may be highly symbolic and very difficult to analyze. But the fact that you brought it to your waking mind is that your subconscious wanted to accomplish. Recurring nightmares usually have very deep subliming meanings. To get at this meaning, it requires patience, dedication, and the desire to know. Dreams are also reflections of situations that already happened. It's always interesting to know where stuff comes from and where it all began. There is always history behind everything, and very interesting to find that out. So, if you are snoring, you cannot be dreaming. Dreams are something we experience every night. Whether it's good or bad, we always dream. The temperature of your room has an effect on your dream. The colder the room, the worse the dreams. So, if you have ever had dreams that felt so real, I know I have plenty. I always want to go back to sleep and keep on dreaming. So if you're a dreamer like me, you may want to write your dreams down right away before you forget. So remember, you only have 5 to 10 minutes before you forget what you dreamt about.